Today's special at Nando's is the Nando's Choice. Pulled chicken, large chips, and large salad for just 50 rand.
It's just 50 rand.
Joan said we just had to take up this offer. She invited our neighbor Nathan and his companion to join us. So, Nathan, my children tell me you're a tail gunner. I was a military man myself.
If the expression tail gunner leads to some confusion in military circles, bandits coming out of the sun would be much more of a worry. That was a South African commercial for Nando's Chicken Land, but it's probably difficult for a young generation to imagine that chicken was once considered a luxury dish in the Western world. Now it's so commonplace, advertisers are having to try even harder to make it sound really exciting. Whether or not that particular Canadian commercial inspired hundreds of extra customers to try Fong's fresh poultry, knowing that only seconds before it had been alive and clucking on the bus, is difficult to imagine. Now, these days, there does seem to be a fashion for direct sell-it-like-it-is campaigns. Health authorities around the world have for many years now employed blunt shock tactics to try and warn people of the dangers of tobacco. And as more and more facts about the consequences of smoking are revealed, their message is no longer meeting stiff resistance.
All the time. If you come and be my sweet baby mine, 'cause
Now that medical researchers believe cigarettes are a leading cause of impotence, we're going to be looking at smoking a little differently. Cigarettes. Still think they're sexy?
A simple but very clever commercial there from the California Health Department, openly discussing the difficult problems of smokers' droop. Now, if smoking can lose you a girlfriend, then the message on the next commercial from Sweden is that other vices can lose you whole days of your life. The times we've all done that, eh? Woken up bare buttocked, dressed only in a gorilla suit, having joined the Swedish Navy. It does look as if perhaps the nights are a little too long up there in the Arctic Circle. Certainly in our methodical travel through the world's television output, we have never seen anything quite like this next show before. And amazingly, it comes from Russia. This is Intercept, a major new game show on Russia's first commercial network. With all the thrills more associated with a Hollywood action movie, the aim of Intercept is very straightforward. Contestants have to steal a planted car and evade the Moscow police for exactly 35 minutes. Hosted by Nikolai Fomenko, a kind of Russian Alexei Sayle, a studio audience watched the drama unfold as up to 40 cameras around Moscow capture the action. If the contestant manages to escape capture for 35 minutes, he wins a brand new Daewoo, in Russia a highly prized reward. If they fail, they're arrested and could go to prison for up to 10 years. So the contestant hot wires the getaway car and Nikolai starts the clock. After 17 minutes of burning some serious rubber, the Moscow Highway Patrol finally catch up with him down a narrow back street. Now the chase is really on, with the police hot on his tail. The contestant is still only halfway through his allotted time.
Что делают операторы наши? Не жалеют ни технику, ни себя. Боже мой! Не отрывается, смотри, а не отрывается. Ну давай, Владик, ну давай! Я тебя умоляю. Ты сможешь проехать. Застрял!
But at this point, the police have got stuck, to the clear delight of the partisan audience. Into the final minute of the game now, and the police are back. Our contestant has to evade capture for only a few more seconds. "17 seconds too early, the police have caught their prey." Now remember, those are real police toting real guns.
Автомат. Конечно, против автомата ничего нет. Против лома нет приема. Естественно, если бы не автомат, ну дайте Барковскому тогда пулемет, чтобы было по-честному.
And he's never been seen again. Amazing show. On most game shows, the losers don't go home empty-handed. On Intercept, the losers don't go home. Now, so far, there have been 24 episodes of Intercept with only 3 winners. Now, with 2 contestants per show, that means there are already 45 unsuccessful entrants languishing in Russian prisons. Intercept's presenter, Nikolai Fomenko, is now one of the best-known faces in Russia, and the only one likely to be still at liberty by the end of this series. Meanwhile, in Denmark, their best-known Hollywood celebrity, come to think of it, their only Hollywood celebrity, Brigitte Nielson, star of Red Sonja, has finally got her own chat show. Now, some British viewers may remember Brigitte's tired and emotional performance as a guest on Fantasy Football. Her performance as an interviewer is equally bemusing. See if you can follow the line of her questioning in this clip, because John Cleese is clearly baffled.
Do you think the soul, you know, everybody speaks about souls. They say, of course, it's a physical ourself, it's not the heart and the brain. But do you believe that we somewhere, when we pass out and they burn us, they do whatever they put us in, do you believe that our soul actually rise into the sky and take place somewhere else? And do you think that that soul will know you lived another life and you can actually live 2 in 1? Like saying, oh, I just came from here, I'm on to something new. I think you're so very true. And I also think, and if I may be personal, I think it's very tough sometimes to not always have a certain age, but you realize that. I think sometimes in life you realize things at an age when you're maybe too young to understand it. You often can find your memory, and you reach out for something and you don't know where to find it. And people often take it all for granted or misunderstood. It's always one way or the other. Anyway, so John Cleese, we want to see more of you. Stage, film, we want to see everything.
Can I just check the questions, make sure you get...
No, a lot of them are not done because, anyway, you run this interview.
What is this one about how to cook roast lamb? What do you...
No, but it was not the roast lamb.
Well, whose
It was not the
question was
Christmas stew. It was the Easter thing. But I didn't want to get into, we're still, it's not, forget it.
Why did Napoleon shell Copenhagen?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, and just how, what you said about Hans Christian Andersen earlier. And I thought I could just, let it slide in a question or two.
We've done all those.
So Somehow the producers of Brigitte and Friends do succeed, actually, in booking some great guests. When Mia Farrow chose to tell of the collapse of her marriage to Woody Allen amid allegations of a relationship with her daughter, amazingly, it was Brigitte who landed the big interview. But at an acutely sensitive time like that, Ms. Nielson still managed somehow to upstage Mia with her full repertoire of completely inappropriate gestures.
Mia, the whole world has been talking about Woody Allen and Soon Lee, especially Woody Allen, and journalists. Can I ask Mia to tell me, in her own words and from her heart, exactly what happened?
I can only tell you that I didn't know anything about it at all. We were making a movie, Husbands and Wives, and I was at his apartment with a couple of my children. As he knew I would be, we were over there playing.
Yeah, like always.
Yeah, and it was my day off. I didn't work that day, and he called me on the telephone just to chat. And when I hung up the phone, there right on the mantle, just as close as this, was a stack of Polaroids, color Polaroids, that he had taken of my daughter, of her child. Yeah, before that moment, I had no idea. None at all. And there was just, for me, it was just an implosion. Everything just crumbled in. You know, the next months were very strange. You know, I ended up on antidepressants for a few months because I just went into a depression.
When you're bearing your soul, like Mia there, about your darkest days of depression, what you really don't need is a grinning dame doing over-the-top eyebrow acting. Now, after the break, the Minogue sisters, Kylie and Danny, as you've never seen them before, and the Dutch game show where you're challenged to kiss this toad for money. But first, here's an Australian commercial featuring that humblest form of advertising, the sandwich board.